You can eat 10 eggs a day or finish an entire can of sardines every morning. But if you're a woman over 60, you can still lose muscle twice as fast as men your age. And almost no one is telling you why. Sarcopenia in post-menopausal women moves 2 to 3 times faster because estrogen drops sharply after 60. That quiet hormonal shift makes your body less responsive to the protein you eat, no matter how hard you try. So if you've been eating the same foods for years and still feel weaker when you stand up from a chair or carry your groceries, it's not your fault. Most senior women make the same mistakes without realizing it. They believe eggs or sardines alone can maintain their strength. They try to reach 100 grams of protein a day without understanding how much their body can actually absorb. And most importantly, they overlook 4 canned foods that build muscle far better than sardines. Foods that work with an aging female metabolism instead of against it. Over the next 20 minutes, you'll discover all 4 of these power foods and one everyday ingredient you should never pair with protein if you want to rebuild strength after 60. This might be the turning point your muscles have been waiting for. If you're a woman over 60, you may have asked yourself the same question thousands of others have whispered. I eat well, so why am I still getting weaker? Maybe you've noticed it in small moments. The grocery bags feel heavier than they used to. Holding a grandchild for a few minutes leaves your arms tired. Climbing a simple flight of stairs takes longer, and you catch your breath halfway up. These changes can be unsettling, especially when you feel like you're doing everything right. What many women don't realize is that your body, after 60, is working with a very different set of rules. When estrogen drops, your muscles lose their natural protection. You don't just lose muscle faster, you lose bone strength, balance, and stamina at the same time. Your heart becomes more sensitive to sodium. Your digestion becomes more reactive. Even stress affects your muscles more deeply than it once did. And then there are the everyday barriers no one talks about. Chewing tougher meats becomes harder when your teeth or jaw aren't as strong as before. Beans can bloat your stomach if you're not used to them. You may not want to cook large meals when you're living alone. And of course, many women on a fixed income need meals that are simple, affordable, and not wasteful. So the real question isn't, am I eating enough? The question is, am I eating in a way that actually works for a woman's body? After 60, your body isn't failing you. It's simply asking for a different kind of support. Protein sources that are easier to chew, easier to digest, easier on your heart, and strong enough to replenish the muscle you're losing. You're not alone, and your body still wants to stay strong for you. The truth is simple. Muscle only grows when your body receives 2 signals at the same time. Enough protein to rebuild, and a small movement to tell your muscles, stay alive, stay active. Without protein, there's no raw material. Without movement, even gentle movement, your muscles stay quiet, almost asleep. This is why so many women eat well but still feel weaker each year. Your body isn't resisting you. It's waiting for the right combination. And that combination becomes even more important after 60 when digestion slows. Chewing becomes harder, and your metabolism responds differently to the foods you once relied on. The good news is, you don't need expensive supplements or complicated meals. You just need the right protein sources that match the way a woman's body changes with age. So let's begin with 4 canned foods that outperform sardines for women over 60. Easy to chew, easy to digest, budget-friendly, and perfect for living alone. The last one is the most important of all. For women over 60, one of the biggest hidden challenges of aging is that your body no longer absorbs protein the way it once did. After menopause, estrogen drops sharply, and with that drop, your muscle cells become less efficient at using protein for repair. It's one reason you can eat eggs, chicken, or even sardines every day, yet still feel your legs getting weaker, your balance slipping, or your energy fading more quickly. But there's one humble food that quietly supports the female metabolism in ways most people never realize. Mushrooms. Canned mushrooms are one of the easiest, gentlest, and most overlooked sources of muscle-supporting nutrients for senior women. They may not look powerful, but inside each soft bite is a combination of B6 folate, selenium, potassium, and rare beta-glucans that work together to support muscle protein synthesis, reduce inflammation, and improve recovery. 3 things women over 60 desperately need. While mushrooms don't have the highest protein count on their own, what makes them special is how they help your body use protein more effectively, especially when hormones have shifted and digestion has slowed. Most women don't know that B6 and folate are crucial for converting dietary protein into usable amino acids. Without enough of these vitamins, your body can't break down or distribute protein efficiently, which means much of what you eat is simply wasted. Mushrooms quietly fill that gap. They enhance protein metabolism, making the protein from your eggs, tuna, beef, or beans far more available to your muscles. And then there's beta-glucan, an anti-inflammatory compound found in certain mushroom varieties. Inflammation rises naturally in post-menopausal women, and chronic inflammation can block muscle growth, increase soreness, and slow recovery. Mushrooms help calm that inflammatory response, giving your muscles a better environment to rebuild. This is especially important for senior women who want to maintain mobility, avoid falls, and stay independent. Mushrooms also shine when it comes to potassium and selenium. Potassium helps reduce leg cramps, supports nerve function, and makes each muscle contraction smoother and stronger. Selenium acts as an antioxidant shield, protecting your muscles from the oxidative stress that increases with age and impacts strength. When combined, these nutrients create a muscle recovery support system that goes far beyond what sardines can offer. What makes canned mushrooms even more ideal for women over 60 is how easy they are to eat. Many women experience reduced bite force, sensitive teeth, or difficulty chewing tougher proteins. Canned mushrooms, already soft and tender, remove this barrier completely. They require little chewing, are gentle on the jaw, and can be added to almost any meal without extra effort. For women living alone or cooking for one, they take just seconds to prepare. No peeling, chopping, or washing required. For those who get bloated easily, mushrooms are naturally low FODMAP and far easier to digest than meats or beans. A quick rinse can reduce sodium for heart health protection, and warming them lightly brings out their full nutrient potential. This is not new wisdom. In Japanese culture, mushrooms have been used for centuries to support strength, stamina, and recovery in laborers and warriors. They observed that mushrooms help sustain energy during long physical tasks. And modern research now understands why. The metabolic benefits and anti-inflammatory compounds work together to support long-term strength. One of my patients, Linda, a 67-year-old retired teacher, struggled with leg weakness for years. She told me she felt embarrassed whenever she needed help standing up from low chairs. We added one simple change: a breakfast scramble with eggs, canned mushrooms, and a sprinkle of cottage cheese. Within 6 weeks, she noticed she could rise from her chair more easily, and her evening walks became noticeably smoother. It wasn't magic. It was consistent protein paired with the metabolic support mushrooms provide. If you want to activate that same response in your own muscles, try the after breakfast 5-minute muscle signal. Just stand behind a chair, place your hands on the back for support, and perform 10 gentle sit-to-stands followed by 10 slow heel raises. This tiny movement tells your muscles to use the protein you just ate. Mushrooms can open the door. But to help your body absorb and use protein even more effectively, you need the second canned food, one that delivers complete protein in every bite. If mushrooms help your body use protein more efficiently, canned tuna delivers the complete protein your muscles have been craving. For women over 60, this combination is powerful. Just one 3.5-ounce serving of canned tuna provides 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein, almost half of what many senior women need in an entire day. And unlike many protein sources that are tough to chew or difficult to digest, tuna offers complete amino acids in a soft, flaky texture that requires almost no effort from your jaw. This matters more than most people realize. When chewing becomes uncomfortable, women tend to unconsciously avoid meats or large protein portions, slowly sliding into muscle loss without noticing. What makes tuna even more valuable for senior women is its rich supply of vitamin B12 and selenium. B12 is a nutrient many women become deficient in after 60, especially if digestion has slowed or appetite has changed. Without enough B12, protein metabolism stalls. Your muscles simply cannot rebuild efficiently. Selenium, meanwhile, acts like a guardian against oxidative stress, protecting aging muscle fibers from breakdown. Together, B12 and selenium turn each serving of tuna into a muscle renewal package, helping your body recover faster after daily activity. But there's a part of the story women rarely hear, and it's important. Tuna, like all marine fish, can contain small amounts of mercury. For younger adults, this risk is minimal, but for women over 60, especially those with slower detoxification, thyroid issues, or heart concerns, it becomes something to approach with awareness. You don't need to avoid tuna. You just need to use it wisely. 2 to 3 servings per week is the ideal range for most senior women. Light tuna often contains lower mercury than albacore, and rinsing canned tuna underwater for 5 to 10 seconds can gently reduce sodium, a simple step that benefits women with high blood pressure or swelling. For women living alone, tuna is especially practical. One can opens the door to 2 full meals. Try this simple, muscle-friendly bowl. Mix half a can of tuna with canned beans, a handful of spinach, a squeeze of lemon, and a drizzle of olive oil. The beans add steady energy. The spinach brings magnesium for muscle relaxation, and the tuna provides the complete protein your muscles need. Store the remaining half in an airtight container, and tomorrow's lunch is already done. It's economical, it's nourishing, and most importantly, it's easy. After lunch, give your muscles the signal they're waiting for. Stand an arm's length from a wall. Place your palms against it and do 3 slow wall push-ups. You don't need to break a sweat. You're simply telling your body, use the protein I just gave you. 3 repetitions are enough to wake up your chest, arms, and core, and enough to help your muscles take advantage of the tuna's amino acids. Tuna delivers real strength, especially for women rebuilding muscle after 60. But if you want to accelerate muscle gain even further, you'll need a protein source that's even more concentrated than tuna. A food that gives your muscles dense, immediate building blocks in every bite. If tuna gives your muscles steady, complete protein, canned beef delivers something even more powerful, dense, immediate building blocks your body can use within hours. For women over 60, this matters more than ever. After menopause, estrogen declines and bones lose density at the very same time muscles begin to shrink. This twin loss is one of the main reasons staircases feel steeper, groceries feel heavier, and getting up from the couch takes more effort than it used to. Canned beef offers a rare combination of nutrients that support both muscle and bone in a single serving. A 3-ounce portion of canned beef contains 25 to 28 grams of complete protein, plus natural creatine, something plant proteins and lighter meats cannot provide. Creatine is especially valuable for senior women because it helps muscles contract more powerfully and recover more quickly. When you're trying to regain strength in your legs, hips, or back, creatine becomes a quiet ally. But what truly sets canned beef apart for women is its rich content of zinc and vitamin B12. Zinc plays a key role in bone remodeling, helping maintain the structure that supports every step you take. B12 supports nerve function, balance, and muscle coordination, 3 abilities that commonly decline after 60 and can increase fall risk. Many women hesitate to eat beef because it feels tough or difficult to chew. But canned beef breaks this barrier. Its texture is tender and soft, and you can make it even gentler. A quick shred with a fork turns it into fine pieces that are easy on sensitive teeth. Mixing it into warm broth creates a soothing, protein-rich meal that works beautifully for women with jaw discomfort or dentures. Some women prefer to slow cook canned beef with carrots, onions, spinach, or celery. Within minutes, the meat becomes silky, comforting, and digestible. There is one caution worth noting. Some canned beef varieties contain higher sodium levels than other canned foods. For women managing high blood pressure, swelling, or heart concerns, it's best to choose low-sodium versions and rinse the meat briefly under warm water. This small step removes excess salt while keeping the protein and nutrients intact. I once worked with a 72-year-old woman named Margaret who had stopped using her stairs at home because her legs simply didn't feel strong enough. Each step felt shaky, and she relied on the railing for support. We added just 1 can of low-sodium beef to her weekly routine, pairing it with simple leg movements and nutrient-dense vegetables. Within 6 weeks, she noticed she was climbing her stairs with more confidence, stopping less often to rest. Her legs felt sturdier, and her balance steadier. Nothing extreme had changed, only consistent, digestible protein and a few minutes of daily activation. Canned beef can be a powerful tool for rebuilding strength, especially for women who want to protect muscles and bones at the same time. But not every woman enjoys or tolerates red meat, and some prefer lighter, plant-based options that are gentler on the stomach. That's why the fourth food is such a lifesaver for women over 60. Not every woman feels comfortable eating red meat, and many prefer something lighter, gentler on the stomach, and easier to portion when cooking alone. That's where canned beans become a quiet but powerful ally. They may seem simple, but for women over 60, they deliver exactly the kind of plant protein your body needs to maintain strong muscles without overwhelming your digestion. A single cup of canned black beans contains around 15 grams of protein, while kidney beans offer 13. But protein quantity isn't their greatest gift. What truly makes beans essential for senior women is lysine, an amino acid often missing in the diets of those who eat little or no meat. Without enough lysine, your muscles cannot fully synthesize protein. No matter how much tuna, eggs, or mushrooms you eat, lysine helps your muscle fibers rebuild after daily activity, supports collagen in your skin and joints, and even plays a role in calcium absorption, making it a subtle but important nutrient for bone strength. For women sensitive to bloating or digestive discomfort, beans sometimes feel intimidating, but the solution is surprisingly simple. Rinsing canned beans for 30 to 60 seconds removes up to 40% of the compounds that trigger gas. Adding a small amount of fresh ginger to your meal helps your stomach relax and digest more comfortably. And if your digestion is sensitive, you can split your bean intake across 2 mini meals instead of eating a full cup at once. Your body gets the benefits without the discomfort. Beans also fit perfectly into a senior woman's protein blueprint. You can pair half a cup of beans with tuna at lunch to create a complete amino acid profile. You can mix beans with mushrooms at breakfast for a gentle, filling start to your day. You can even stir them into a warm bowl of broth with shredded canned beef if you want a balanced, comforting dinner that supports both muscle and bone. The combinations are endless, and each one moves you closer to your goal of 70 to 90 grams of protein a day. Canned beans shine brightest for women who cook for one. They store easily, portion beautifully, and stretch across multiple meals without waste. Many women tell me that cooking large meals feels tiring or lonely, so they skip protein altogether. With beans, you don't need a big recipe or a long shopping list. You can open one can on Monday, rinse it, divide it into 3 small containers, and you'll have effortless protein ready for days. It's inexpensive, it's nourishing, and most importantly, it supports your strength in a way that fits real life. I worked with a 65-year-old woman named Elaine who lived alone after retiring. She struggled to reach even 50 grams of protein a day and felt her legs weakening over time. We added beans to her routine, half a cup at breakfast with mushrooms and eggs, and half a cup at lunch with tuna and greens. Within a month, her daily intake naturally rose to 80 grams of protein. She told me she felt steadier on her feet, more energized during her morning walks, and for the first time in years, she didn't feel like she was slowing down. Beans are simple, affordable, and adaptable. But there is one thing you must remember. All of this effort, every gram of protein you've added from mushrooms, tuna, beef, or beans, can be blocked completely if you pair them with the wrong everyday food. And that's where most women accidentally sabotage all their progress. You've already learned how mushrooms, tuna, beef, and beans can rebuild your strength. But there is one everyday food that can quietly cancel every one of those benefits, especially for women over 60. Instant noodles may feel harmless, comforting, or convenient, but when paired with protein-rich foods, they create a set of reactions inside the female body that make muscle building far more difficult. After 60 women experience a sharper rise in blood sugar after eating high glycemic foods compared to men. This means the same bowl of noodles that barely affects a younger person can cause a dramatic spike in your glucose levels. When that spike happens at the same time your body is trying to absorb protein from tuna, beef, or beans, your muscles lose the ability to take in amino acids efficiently. The protein you just ate cannot enter your muscle cells. It turns into wasted effort, leaving your body weaker rather than stronger. And that's only the beginning. Instant noodles are made with refined wheat flour that forms excessive amounts of advanced glycation end products. Age. These compounds accelerate inflammation, stiffen connective tissues, and worsen joint discomfort. Women over 60 are already more vulnerable to joint pain because estrogen protects cartilage. Once estrogen drops, inflammation increases. Adding ages on top of that is like pouring fuel on a fire, especially if you already struggle with knee or hip stiffness. Then there is the sodium problem. Instant noodles are notoriously high in sodium. And when combined with canned foods that naturally contain salt, they create a perfect storm for water retention, swelling, and blood pressure spikes. Women are especially sensitive to sodium after menopause, which is why many experience puffy fingers, swollen ankles, or sudden fatigue after salty meals. If you're eating noodles with tuna or beef, your heart and kidneys absorb the burden long before your muscles receive any benefit. One of my clients, a 68-year-old woman named Paula, had been eating instant noodles 3 times a week because they were fast, warm, and comforting. She always added mushrooms and tuna, hoping to make the meal healthier. But her energy stayed low, her balance felt unsteady, and she couldn't figure out why she wasn't gaining strength. Once she removed the noodles and switched to whole grain alternatives, she noticed a difference within 2 weeks. Her energy increased. Her legs felt lighter during her morning walks. And she told me she finally felt like her meals were working for her instead of against her. Removing instant noodles doesn't mean giving up comfort bowls. You simply swap the base. A warm soba noodle bowl with mushrooms and tuna gives you steady blood sugar and complete protein. Brown rice noodles with beans, vegetables, and a splash of broth create a soothing, anti-inflammatory dinner. And if you need something even quicker, try the 5-minute muscle noodle alternative. A handful of pre-cooked whole grain pasta, a spoon of beans, a scoop of canned beef or tuna, and a bit of warm broth poured on top. It satisfies the same craving without the metabolic disaster. Avoiding instant noodles is not about restriction. It's about protecting the progress you're working so hard to build. Every protein-rich meal you make deserves a chance to strengthen your muscles, not be blocked by one simple ingredient. Now that you know what to eat and what to avoid, the next question is just as important. How much should you eat each day? And when should you eat it to rebuild muscle after 60? Now that you know which foods support your muscles and which ones silently work against you, it's time to bring everything together into a simple plan you can use every day. Most women over 60 need around 90 to 100 grams of protein to maintain or rebuild muscle. But the key isn't just the total amount. It's how you spread it throughout the day. Your body can only use so much protein at once. And after menopause, the female metabolism responds best when each meal delivers at least 25 grams. Begin your morning with a breakfast that gives your muscles a strong start. Within 2 hours of waking, aim for 25 grams of protein. This could be scrambled eggs with canned mushrooms, a spoonful of cottage cheese, or a small serving of beans mixed into warm vegetables. Morning protein helps stabilize blood sugar, reduces cravings later in the day, and signals your muscles to stay active rather than break down. At lunch, build a plate that delivers around 30 grams of protein. A tuna and bean bowl with spinach works beautifully, especially for women who prefer meals that are tender, easy to chew, and quick to prepare. Add a squeeze of lemon and a drizzle of olive oil for flavor and heart support. After lunch, take 1 minute for light activation, 3 slow wall push-ups, or 10 gentle heel raises are enough to trigger muscle uptake of the amino acids you just ate. Dinner is where you complete the cycle. Aim for 30 to 35 grams of protein in the evening, ideally from a warm and comforting source like canned beef, mushrooms, beans, or a soft vegetable. And broth combination. Dinner protein fuels overnight repair when your body does most of its rebuilding. Women often underestimate how much nighttime recovery matters, but it can determine how strong your legs feel the next morning. If you need something between meals, choose a snack with 10 to 15 grams of protein. Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, a small portion of tuna salad, or even a half cup of beans. These gentle boosts help keep your muscles in maintenance mode rather than slipping into loss. Keep this simple formula in mind. Protein plus light movement equals fast activation. Each time you give your body protein and pair it with just a few seconds of motion, you're teaching your muscles to stay alive, stay engaged, and stay strong. When you follow this rhythm, you're not just eating. You're rebuilding yourself from the inside out. When you look at everything we've covered, it might seem like a lot at first. But the truth is, rebuilding strength after 60 doesn't require dramatic changes, strict diets, or overwhelming routines. You don't need to track every gram, count every calorie, or cook complicated meals. All you need are a few gentle, consistent steps that work with your body, not against it. Start by choosing just 2 canned foods from the ones we've talked about. It doesn't matter whether it's mushrooms and tuna, beef and beans, or any combination that feels right for your schedule and taste. These foods are soft, practical, affordable, and designed to give your body the protein it needs in forms that work for women over 60. Keep them in your pantry, rotate between them, and let them take the stress out of planning your meals. Next, give your muscles a 5-minute movement after 1 or 2 meals each day. It doesn't have to be a workout. It doesn't need equipment. It's simply a message, a signal to your muscles that says, stay awake, stay strong. It can be 10 sit-to-stands after breakfast, 3 slow wall push-ups after lunch, or a gentle heel raise before dinner. These tiny moments of activation turn your meals into fuel your body can actually use. They're short, safe, and surprisingly powerful. And finally, protect your progress by avoiding instant noodles. Think of them as the one ingredient that blocks your muscles from absorbing the protein you've worked so hard to eat. Swap them for soba noodles, brown rice noodles, or pre-cooked whole grain pasta. You'll still get the warm and comforting bowls you love without sacrificing the strength you're trying to rebuild. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle. You don't need to give up your favorite foods. You don't need to become someone you're not. You only need one protein-rich meal and one small movement each day. That alone is enough to begin reversing muscle loss and restoring the strength you thought you'd lost for good. Every woman over 60 deserves to feel steady on her feet, confident climbing stairs, and strong enough to live independently. And you deserve that too. This journey isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Small, loving, consistent progress that supports your body at this stage of life. Strong body, strong independence. Before you go, there's one more piece of this puzzle you deserve to know. Everything we covered today will start rebuilding your strength. But tomorrow, I'm sharing something that can accelerate your progress even further. A simple strategy, rooted in ancient nutrition practices, that has been shown to boost muscle protein synthesis by up to 34%. No gym, no supplements, no protein powders. Just a quiet, almost forgotten method that works especially well for women over 60 because it taps directly into the metabolic pathways that become weaker after menopause. Most people have never heard of it. Most doctors don't mention it. And yet, when applied correctly, it helps your body turn even small amounts of protein into stronger muscle fibers. If you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, but still not seeing results, this is the missing link. This upcoming video is the most important part of the entire Women Strong After 60 series. It will change the way you approach every meal and every day moving forward. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe now so you don't miss tomorrow's revelation. Your body is ready for the next step, and this next insight might be the breakthrough you've been waiting for.